I'm Sylvia Syracuse. I'm the Director of Marketing and Events for BroadbandBreakfast.com, and I'd like to invite you to the April 2012 Social Networking, the End of Media, and the Future of Privacy Broadband Breakfast Club event. The sponsors of the Broadband Breakfast Club are Comcast, ICF International, US Telecom, Google, NCTA, and TIA. Please give a hand to the sponsors of the Broadband Breakfast Club. And I'd like to introduce our keynote speaker for today, Julie Brill, Commissioner at the Federal Trade Commission.
The FTC will participate in the Department of Commerce's project to facilitate the development of sector-specific codes of conduct as articulated in the administration's white paper on privacy. The administration's white paper also recognizes the important role that the FTC will play in enforcing any codes of conduct that come out of the multi-stakeholder process. As you can see, we have a very full privacy enforcement and policy agenda ahead of us, much more than we can tweet about in 140 characters. But still we try. We too are using social media to get out our message. Following the release of our privacy report, we hosted Facebook and Twitter live chats to take questions from the public. We're even tweeting about my talk here with you this morning.
We are in a position that a number of online publishers are in. For us, social media has actually been a powerful tool to increase our traffic and to actually build a new economic foundation. So the Atlantic magazine, when in about 2007, when we got very serious about developing Atlantic.com and a web presence, had about 500,000 print subscribers and about 500,000 monthly readers on our website. Today, that number is 10 times or more what it was then. Our online traffic in terms of monthly uniques is well in the two-figure of millions per month. And a big driver of that, a couple of years ago, it would have been largely through search and people who came to our homepage. Today, an enormous driver of that traffic is social. So we get more traffic now through people sharing our articles with their friends than we do from any other source. And I think there are some reasons that type of content that we create, a national journal in the Atlantic, is suited to that. It's largely opinion, sometimes original narrative reporting, often quick takes and reactions and analysis on the news, which is the kind of thing that people like to share with each other. But what social has really done is, in a lot of ways, kind of change the relationship of brands to consumers. So and it's helped companies like ours that have old brands that have reinvented themselves. It's also helped a lot of very new brands that haven't yet developed the kind of historical reputation that others have. So, for instance, traditionally, all of us, if we wanted to know what was happening on some important topic that we're not particularly knowledgeable about, would find that an article in the New York Times or the Wall Street Journal or a source like that, which has built up a reputation over 100 years or longer, is the gold standard. At the same time, today, if we have a friend who's particularly knowledgeable about some topic, and they recommend even a blog post by an author that I'm not familiar with on a blog or a site that I'm not knowledgeable about at all, if that friend who is knowledgeable recommends it to me, I'll often take that very seriously.
I think social media is sort of that new next approach. Just as search was disruptive for publishers, social media will be disruptive for publishers. But the one constant in that is that it's still just a new front page. Okay, and in this instance, one really great advantage for publishers that they could take advantage of is the engagement factor, right? Media isn't dead. We're just talking about a new relationship. Content is still king. It's just that engagement is the new queen. And so what we're looking at now is where publishers are able to take that social media and really use it to drive people to their websites, to their content. And what they're able to do, in fact, is use their content as advertising for their brand instead of relying on their brand.
From your old standpoint at DoubleClick and AOL as the Chief Privacy Officer to your new organization, do tell us a little bit about the future of privacy and what you're trying to accomplish. How do you see privacy from the user's standpoint versus from the publisher's standpoint?
Yeah, so we're an industry-supported think tank from companies like the ISPs and telcos to the Foursquares and startups that are trying to do interesting, creative, and sometimes novel things with information. But half of our board are advocates and academics, and so we end up trying to be the folks that are optimistic about the interesting, good things that can be done for the world, for users with data use, but also equally aware that some of these things have moral, ethical, legal concerns. Our stakeholders really are the chief privacy officers to a significant degree, and so my viewpoint, frankly, I think has been pretty much the same for a while, which is most of the companies are trying to do good, useful things for the world, but there's usually a bit more that could be done that doesn't get done for lots of reasons. It's item number 6 on their list. They only do the top 5. Other publishers aren't going to do it, or the publishers would do it, but not the advertisers. All the ecosystem issues that end up making progress, really hard in this area. And so we try to focus, as Commissioner Brill talked about, on some of those low-hanging fruit. A year ago, everyone got really angry when we said, how about do not track mean turn off behavioral ads? Because we've all agreed that that should be turned off. And I used to always complain about how well that process worked. And it wasn't the right time, and so people got all annoyed, and now that's sort of the big solution. It was a low-hanging fruit. So our timing was probably bad because people weren't ready for it. And so I think what we're going to try to do is continue to find solutions that do probably 80% of what the solution is, and therefore don't break too much. I think the challenge in the advocacy world is that there are lots of folks that want perfect solutions, and as a result, we get none. Right? Anytime a company does something new or useful, if it isn't perfect, everybody jumps on them, and they're like, well, why did I even bother?
Tuesday, May 15th, we're going to have a special discussion about getting individuals online who are older, and we really look forward to that event. We want to, again, thank our sponsors, Comcast, National Cable and Telecommunications Association, U.S. Telecom, ICF International, Google, and the Telecommunications Industry Association. Please join me in thanking our panelists and each of you for making it and contributing to this discussion. Thank you.